sleep it. Thank you, honey.
Okay, I'm going to keep reading.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, some people find it most difficult to let go. Whenever temptation comes, there is always... Oh, this was profound too. Whenever temptation comes, there is always a battle. Whenever tempter arises, there is usually a fight. If the resolution... I can't read very good here. If the resolution on the first occasion fails, a stronger resolution will be made the next time. Yes.
Yeah.
The more resolve, the more defeats. The more promises, the more failures. No matter how strong the next resolution is, the situation is as Romans 7 describes it. To will is present within me, but to do that which is good is not. For the good which I do not, but the evil which I would not, that I practice. No promise is right because your hand has not let go. You yourself are still taking care of your affairs. Therefore, come here, Esmo.
Yeah.
Come here, buddy. I'll sit with you.
You say yes, Mama, and you go over there.
Come here, man.
Say yes, Mama. Thank you. Okay, you want to go to Nancy?
Hang on. Come here, bud. Aw, little guy. Put your head down. Okay. Let me just relax. Okay. Get some Kleenex, huh? You yourself are still taking care of your affairs. You want to put your head down?
Man.
You got a good old tear going on there, buddy. Therefore, you cannot say with conviction, I have been crucified with Christ. Neither can you say, it is no longer I that live, but Christ liveth within me.
Yeah.
Death means letting go, putting hands off, no more care, and no longer control. No more care. Ugh. Only when it becomes impossible to you does it begin to be possible with God. So that the first important step is for you to take your hands off. So then he gives a story. I'm going to skip over that story.
Is it the story about the woman?
No, it's okay. A certain brother in Tennessee, Tientsin, asked me how to let go, for he had tried to do so but could not. Brother, I inquired, what is your position at the company? Well, this was actually pretty good.
Uh-huh.
I am head of the cloth department, he replied. Suppose your general manager were to tell you today that the company will lay you off next month. What would you do? I asked. Well, by the next month I would have to quit, he said. Suppose in the next month the new head arrives and you hand all things in the department over to him. But after you have made the transfer, suddenly an agent comes in to you and reports that a certain cloth is going to increase in price after 2 days. What would you do then? If this report had come earlier, I would have begun to figure how much of this kind of cloth we have in stock and how much we should buy to increase the inventory. But by this time, I have already handed the department's affairs over to the new head.
Uh-huh.
So I am glad that I have nothing to do but watch.
Uh-huh.
This is an excellent example. I had to read that a few times.
Yeah.
Because he says, this is an excellent example. I'm like, huh?
It is!
Of taking hands off. This is yielding to the fact that I have been crucified with Christ. Tell the Lord, Lord, I resign, not because I am able, but because I am helpless. My temper, pride, hardness, and jealousy remains within me. remain within me, but there is nothing I can do. I can only hand over myself. Ah. Oh, bless you. Oh, darn it. Henceforth, where am I? Everything in your hand is in your hand. Do not be stirred. Oh, this is intense. Do not be stirred by God's opposing agents. Okay, listen to this. Of course, you're listening. There are legions of the enemy's agents. Daily, they will tempt you to do something. To do something. Okay? But you have committed yourself into the hands of the Lord. All is well if you neither care nor work. This is called victory. This is yielding.
Okay, so let's dig that out.
Well, let me keep reading. He does talk about it. Satan. Okay. I gotta get you comfortable. You don't look very comfortable to me. There we go. Do you know? He's like, I don't want to sit back.
He can't see himself.
Oh.
He sits back.
Okay. Do you know what the basic temptation is? One brother says he is often tempted to lose his temper. Another brother said he is frequently tempted to be harsh. Still another brother says he is usually tempted into unclean thoughts. Yet another brother says he is tempted to be talkative all the time.
I like how that's been
I know that funny.
one of them, like, what does that mean?
Yeah. 1,000 persons seem to have 1,000 different temptations. Yet there is but one temptation in the whole world. Notwithstanding all the various temptations to bad temper, pride, greediness, adultery, and so forth, the enemy really has but one temptation. And that is to bestir the saints. And you're like, what does that mean?
Bestir.
Right.
Use English.
Satan does not tempt you so that you lose your temper, become proud or greedy or adulterous. He simply tempts you to bestir yourself. Stir yourself up. If only he succeeds in bestirring you to do something, gosh, he gains the victory.
I see. Yep, I'm seeing it.
Oh, that I had enough tears to cry out, don't be stirred. This is a little Watchman Nee here. Because once you have been stirred up to take action, you have failed.
That's heavy. That's really heavy.
That's some chewing material right there. Whether you struggle with Satan, fight with him, or resist him, so long as you are bestirred, he obtains the victory. Do keep in mind that our victory lies in being spectators. That's so crazy. Our victory is achieved in detachment. How wonderful if we could see it that God sets up in us in. Sorry. How wonderful if we could see it that God sets. That God sets us aside and lets His Son overcome for us.
This is challenging stuff.
Good,
I mean,
thank
not
you.
and yeah. Well, I shouldn't go on because I was going to say, well, not for me. But it's challenging, and he's challenging in his vocabulary because it seems to me like he's confronting the spirit, the issue, which is that we feel like we must do something. We're programmed, we're born into the fall. And so it's in our fallen nature to go and do and, like what Dan Mohler says, we're born into the fall. The things that we think are just a part of who we are, most of it Adam gave us. Like the emotions that we were born with.
Oh, okay. So can I throw this out there then? When you just said that, it's after the fall that Adam had to go and work.
Yeah.
He wasn't working before
No, he had to
and toiling.
toil, over the ground
So it's
when
part of the
before
curse.
it was. See, I had a conversation with the kids a long time ago. Wow. Talking about that.
Really?
But I had no understanding of what I was talking about and immediately felt bad about it because I was like, Adam didn't work until after the fall. You know, it's frustrating to work.
Yeah.
We don't want to. We don't want to work, but it's something that we have to do because of the fall.
Right. Is that okay?
But then I automatically felt bad because of what we were reading in Proverbs. You know, and Proverbs talks about how it's good to, like a wise man and the just and the righteous, like they do well.
Proverbs 31. But I mean, there's got to be it's got to be a perspective that he's talking about.
And that's it.
Because it doesn't mean we don't do anything.
Yeah.
But
we do everything. Everything that we do is yielded to Him. We're yielded in everything.
And it doesn't mean that we don't. The point is we don't work to save ourselves from our sin. You don't try harder to stop doing something.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, I agree. I had to get a tissue before.
Where are we on?
Everything falls
We
out.
are at 11 and a half minutes. This is kind of just one of those ones that we're just going to go back and listen, probably because you'll have to actually do a teaching. Whoops, and I just messed it up.
No, that's okay. I just had it in a book. I think we should, at least for right now, because I really believe that this is true, and we see this in Scripture, that it is about us not doing anything. And let's just start there and go, Lord, build on that. Because we have to learn how to stop. We can't go, yes, but we still have to do things, but we do them this way. Let's just stop and go, no, we're not going to do anything. Like, let's say what he's saying and go, I'm done. I'm done working. I'm done trying. I'm done. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to stop.
See, and I've felt that way, like I'm so defeated that I just I'm not gonna even try, maybe, and then I feel like it's getting worse. I didn't have the full revelation.
So he's bestirring you.
Oh, okay.
To do something, because look at what happens when you don't.
Yeah.
So you have to do something because it's only going to get worse. But doesn't the Lord tell you to stop and rest?
Well, you can stop but not rest. You can just stop out of frustration but not really rest in His presence.
And if you weren't resting in His presence.
Yeah, and you're just out of your sheer will, I'm going to...
So either way, it's not yielding to Him. You're just not yielding to Him. You're just giving up because it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
And...
Why try?
Yeah. And so that's just being defeated.
Yeah.
And that's not what He's called you to either. He's called you to yield.
Yeah. And surrender to Him.
Yeah. So if we give up and stop, we're stopping to yield to Him and go, no, you do it.
Yeah.
Because I can't do it. The sit, walk, stand thing, messed with me.
Did it?
Because it seemed, it's right here.
Want me to hold those?
Where is it? Yeah, this thing just drives me nuts when not drives me nuts, but it drove me nuts. God is so wealthy that His chief delight is to give. And I did a video on this too. His treasure stores are so full that it is a pain to Him when we refuse Him an opportunity of lavishing those treasures upon us. Pause.